I am not anti-insurance. I am
Of course.
pro-consumer. And we are here to take care of the consumer. The insurance companies should have the same, desire. Look, we've done several videos, and we did one recently that talked about the lack of calibrations that are being done on brand new vehicles. The 10-year discussion of pre and post scans, whether they're necessary or not, and that we're only right around that 60% mark of at least one of them being on an estimate from a collision center.
Right.
If you don't see that on your estimate, please don't go there. Please don't go there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the airing of Grievances. I'm Eric Reamer, and that's Robert Grieve. And as always, we are so glad that you've taken time out of your day to join us for ours. And Rob, happy Saturday to you.
Oh, happy Saturday to you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It is. It's hard to imagine how many things have happened by way of the history of this channel and the information that we've given out and all the new friends that we've made all around the country.
Love you guys.
We really do. If this is your first time watching one of these videos, we encourage you to do a couple of things. The first thing is click the subscribe button. And if you want, you can click the notify bell. Otherwise, if you can just check, if it's Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. in the Mountain Standard Time Zone, that's when we air a brand new one. And if at that moment in time you want to join us and chat with us, we love the interaction that we get with you, and would love to just say hello, answer any questions you might have, and talk about things of importance to you in that chat time. If you miss the chat time, you can go to the comment section and leave us a comment below. We check each and every one of those, and we're grateful for each and every one of you if you're not necessarily on our time zone and don't want to get up that early on a Saturday morning. Another piece of housekeeping, if you like what you see, do us a favor. Click the thumbs up button. Here's a couple extra thumbs for you to remind you that, it's a good thing to do.
Just do it now.
And YouTube actually responds to those little signals. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us immeasurably, so we're grateful for those things. And finally, if you really like it and you want to share it, that is really probably the best way you can help us deliver this message to more consumers who need to hear the things that we talk about on this channel. So there's the housekeeping done.
Yep.
And Rob, this is the last episode of the year. And
woohoo!
As that is the
Seems
case,
like I got a week off.
No. No, you're not going to get a week off. In fact, we may double down because I know travel schedules are coming. So let's talk for just a minute about, do you remember the day when you could go into a dealership or someone selling a car and you could say, I would like the option of maybe heated seats or air conditioning or an 8-track cassette player?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember those days? Mm-hmm. I mean, I know you're old enough to remember. Folks, for most of you who are watching today, 8 tracks were a way of listening to music, and you could... Okay, we'll just skip on that for now. There's sometimes things happen in cars, get installed in the production of cars, that you may not have chosen as an option, but here they are anyway.
Especially, it's rapidly happening today.
We're going to talk about that today. Lead us in, if you will.
Rapidly happening today. So I stumbled across this Repair-Driven News article by Dave LaChance. Thank you. And the title is Mitsubishi, Nissan, Stellantis join the ranks of OEMs equipping nearly all vehicles with AEB.
AEB.
Automatic emergency braking.
Uh-huh.
Which means that these vehicles equipped with this are going to activate the brakes.
They may stop with or without your assistance. Yeah, okay.
maybe before you do.
Right?
I mean, most of us know where the brake pedal is and know when to hit it and all the rest of that. I guess, you know, there's people that feel as though they want a plan B.
Right. So these three manufacturers are all getting on board to equip most of their vehicles with this computer technology that applies emergency braking when the computer deems necessary.
Yes. Yes, that's the case. And, you know, it's in conjunction with several agencies that may have influence over OEMs.
May have influence.
May have influence over how cars are designed and what they're equipped with.
Well, why don't we just give those agencies a name or two? The first of those agencies is the IIHS. That's
because they produce a rating for them.
They do, absolutely. And for them being the OEMs, right? Mm-hmm. IIHS stands for the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety.
Yes.
And without getting into the weeds, this is an organization that is 100% driven by the insurance industry.
Yes.
And so they're the ones, when you see those cars crashing into the walls and the test dummies hitting the sides and all that kind of stuff, that's the IIHS doing those. There's a whole building. It's hard to even call it a building. It's a massive city of testing facilities. And the other one is the NHTSA, the National Highway...
NHTSA.
NHTSA is the way we say it's the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration. That is a factor of our government here in the U.S. All right, so those two...
Yeah, so just to start off, the first paragraph, Mitsubishi, Nissan Infiniti, and Stellantis have joined 12 OEMs that have met their promise to install automatic emergency braking on more than 95% of their vehicles they produce, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety has announced. So, I guess the IIHS has a little influence. They further on down here say the IIHS has said it expects the voluntary commitment to prevent 42,000 crashes and 20,000 injuries by 2025.
So you used a couple of words. You used the word promise.
Yep.
And then you just used voluntary commitment. So basically, this is action that's being taken place.
Statutory.
It's a pinky swear.
Yeah.
Right,
and they're holding them to it.
All right.
The estimate is based on IIHS research that found that front crash prevention systems with both forward collision warning and automatic emergency braking cut rear-end crashes by half. Maybe because we're distracted and looking at something else other than the road sometimes, but...
if you're watching this on your phone while you're driving, stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that. The article goes on to say, the overwhelming number of vehicles produced with this critical safety technology means that consumers will receive safety benefits even if they aren't actively shopping for them, which means the standard equipment is going to be on the vehicle.
Okay.
And that was Jennifer Stockberger, Director of Operations at Consumer Reports, that made that. Additional capabilities of these systems also provide other things such as pedestrian detection and the ability to function at highway speeds and have potential to save even more lives. And the article goes on to say OEMs have met their commitment OEMs that have met their commitment ahead of schedule include Audi, BMW, Ford, Lincoln, Honda, Acura, Hyundai, Genesis, Mazda, Mercedes-Benz, Mitsubishi, Nissan Infiniti, Stellantis, Subaru, Tesla, Toyota, Lexus, Volkswagen, and Volvo.
Okay.
That's a lot of them.
They're overachieving by meeting their commitment.
Yep.
Prior to the deadline agreed to.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's the promise that they're going to be included in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's also a performance standard.
So not only is it going to be installed in the vehicle,
It has to work a certain
it
way.
has to work. Okay, all right.
So the OEMs have agreed to meet certain performance standards for the automatic emergency braking. This feature must meet a subset of NHTSA's current 5-star safety rating program requirements on the timing of driver alerts, beep, 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 and must earn at least an advanced rating in the IIHS vehicle-to-vehicle front crash prevention evaluation. The system must be able to slow the vehicle by at least 10 miles an hour in either the 12 mile an hour or 25 mile an hour test, or by 5 mile an hour in both tests to earn the rating.
Okay.
So this thing is going to step on the brakes
Yep.
for you,
Right.
and it is in your vehicle if you have a newer vehicle.
Sure.
There's plenty of vehicles in here right now that have this technology.
Agreed.
So
I know that my car has it.
yeah, many cars have it, and being a consumer video series, we bring this to you because these systems need to be checked and proven to be operational, so on and so forth during a repair.
Yes.
And this is kind of a big deal.
According to the IIHS.
Look, it's a very, very big deal to them.
Yeah.
Because, they're naturally their goal is saving lives and not having people injured and so on and so forth. There may be other benefits
Such
for
as
the insurance
maybe
company.
saving money.
Yeah, could be.
Make which penny saved is a penny earned.
Yeah, let's force this stuff, whether the consumer wants it or not, on the OEMs to put it into the product so that we may be able to save some personal injuries.
Sounds like you've been listening to my favorite radio station, WIIFM.
Yeah,
What's in it for me?
yeah. What's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the repair of the vehicle, whether it's collision related or it may just be a you're having your vehicle serviced or something. Is that AAA?
It is.
Yeah, I think AAA made some comments about it because this is more than just the automatic braking. There's a suite of stuff that is ADAS
Interconnected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in these vehicles, more than just the automatic braking.
AAA put out a statement, and this is a subsection of a larger article on calibration and failure to calibrate ADAS systems. It says failure to calibrate a sensor when necessary can result in faulty information that will cause ADAS to operate improperly or not at all.
You don't want either of those things.
Faulty sensor input can cause a warning light or message on the instrument panel,
May.
a diagnostic trouble code which is stored in the vehicle's computer memory.
Very likely.
Doesn't necessarily trigger the light.
No, DTC is different.
It could cause steering wheel vibration,
Mm-hmm.
could cause vehicle steering pull, and increased steering effort.
Mm-hmm.
Problems like this, get this folks, problems like these can cause a driver to lose trust in a car's ability to provide safe transportation.
Mm-hmm.
ADAS failures may also raise questions about the quality of an auto repair shop's work.
Yeah.
You got to do these things.
You know,
You got to calibrate these sensors, and
first off, you got to know that they're on there.
you got to know.
You got to know
How do
that they're
you
on
know?
there. You don't know looking at the car. Just like you can't tell looking at the car if it's got an alignment. You can't tell looking at the car if the frame is in spec. You can't just walk up to a car anymore and know everything about it.
So how would you know?
Well, you start with doing your pre-scans and your post-scans and in-process scans, and that's one way. We pull build sheets on the vehicle, which is basically the vehicle's birth certificate says
Right.
everything that it was built with,
Right.
all the systems that are in it. Some of them you can visually see when you take the vehicle apart. There's blind spot monitors or obvious equipment.
Right.
You have to make yourself aware
Yeah.
of these important issues on every single vehicle being repaired.
Well, surely that is agreed to by all parties involved, right? That we need to scan and test these things and make sure.
In theory it is. There are. Look, we've done several videos, and we did one recently that talked about the lack of calibrations that are being done on brand new vehicles. The 10-year discussion of pre and post scans, whether they're necessary or not, and that we're only right around that 60% mark of at least one of them being on an estimate from a collision center.
Right.
If you don't see that on your estimate, please don't go there. Please don't go there. So it's a critical thing for consumers to understand that repairing vehicles today is far more sophisticated than it ever has been before. And when your shop says, we need to do these things, please listen to them, because your insurance company may say, you don't need to do these things. And the really interesting thing, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
The really interesting thing about this is who is driving the narrative to have this stuff in the vehicle to begin with.
The insurance companies.
IIHS. What does it stand for again?
Insurance Institute for Highway Safety,
Okay.
made up of almost every insurer you have ever heard of.
And their associations.
Yes.
And their associations. Did you see any OEMs mentioned in the...
Not a single one.
No. Okay. So, and please, I am not anti-insurance. I am pro-consumer. And we are here to take care of the consumer. The insurance companies should have the same, desire. But still today, I'm talking to one of my folks downstairs, and Bristol West is convincing a guest that their car doesn't need to be pre and post scanned. And, it's quite simple to me. It's not an option. If the car comes here, it's getting a pre-scan and a post-scan. And it costs money to do that. And there's a reason we need to do it. On Lexus and Toyota, they have ICS. ICS is one of these components of the emergency braking.
Okay.
It's the thing in the computer that tells it, but based on information that sensors are giving the computers.
Right.
You cannot walk up to this car and see that it has it. You can see it has got sensors, but most times those sensors are just audible alerts that
Right.
you're getting close to something. If the car's got ICS, that's going to employ the automatic braking when necessary. And we know that because we do a pre-scan with the TechStream, which is Toyota Lexus's computer system to plug into the car.
Right.
And if it has ICS, it comes up on the report. This car has ICS. Now that we know it has ICS, if we're taking off a front or a rear bumper, just taking it off in order to access something else or repair it or replace it or whatever, it has to go through certain calibrations.
Absolutely.
And it's not a question of whether it does or it doesn't. It must.
Yeah. A 1 degree shift in the angle of some of these sensors can make massive difference 40, 50 feet down the road.
Absolutely.
And you're talking 40, 50 feet and highway speeds, that's
Yep.
fractions of a second that your brain can't do the math.
So, the point of the conversation is these cars are very advanced. You need to take it to somebody that understands these advances the vehicles may have.
Right.
If the insurance company or somebody else tells you you don't need that, and the repairer is telling you you do, maybe you want to do a little more research.
Mm-hmm.
If you take your car someplace for an estimate and you don't see pre and post scans or calibrations, you need to start asking some questions or go someplace else.
Yeah, the kind of questions you're asking is, do you have any partnerships with the insurance company involved? And if that's the case, they are answering and prioritizing their relationship with their insurance partners above you and your safety.
Yeah, happens all day, every day.
Yeah.
And you need somebody in your corner, not only to fix your car properly, but to help you get that across to the insurance company that you're counting on to pay the bill.
Yeah.
So that's my rant.
Is it so much a rant as it is a buyer beware? And you have to, you the consumer need to know. You need to know these things.
You may not know your car has emergency braking,
Yeah.
automatic emergency braking.
Right? And you didn't.
But your repairer does need to know.
They absolutely need to know.
And they need to know what to do to make sure it's operating, because the time to find out that it's not operating or is malfunctioning somehow is not when you need it.
That's right.
It needs to be considered in the repair recipe, if you will,
Yeah.
for doing the repair.
Yeah.
And so that's it for me.
That's solid. That's solid, my friend. Thank you so
Happy
much for your
Saturday
time.
to you.
Happy Saturday.
Our dear friends, happy Saturday to you. Happy New Year to you. And we will see you here next week. Have a great week.